morning. It's still May 11th. So MG's morning message resonated very much. And it makes sense. And now, in retrospect, it makes sense. It makes sense. You know, everything with a grain of salt, right? Everything with discernment. Todo con un aire, right? There's always a little bit of truth to what is being said. And, you know, she just highlighted some things. Again, and I appreciate it. That's why I follow her. Because those mirrors, right? That the reality check, the within myself, the prompting of self-reflection, so that I can then become more aware, learn the lesson, and move on. And it coordinates. It makes sense to the dream occurring after the fact, after that realization that I made. So yesterday, I don't know if I shared, aside from it being a freaking emotional day, I was, you know, getting ready for today, because, you know, we're going on another mini work trip, short mini work trip, to help balance and just really balance, not just work, but personally. And, you know, I offer people to, you know, I'm learning how to read birth charts. I'm learning how to understand certain things, right? So that's what I can offer right now, right? For people around me. And, you know, there's definitely this feel of this need to teach people about the spiritual path, and if they're open and willing and wanting that information to help with their personal growth, right? And it's all novice stuff, right? I'm nowhere near Miss Christina, or both Miss Christinas. I am nowhere near, you know, their level of being able to put together the stuff, right? I have a book. I'm referencing the videos that I trust, and seeing if it matches, right? And it's funny because there's always an element of oh, it's for entertainment purposes, and yeah, it can be, but maybe that's just the cover-up, right? A cover-up for the people who don't know how to discern the information, who use it as complete truth and then become disappointed when it doesn't turn out that way, right? Versus looking at it as more as a guide, perhaps situation, and let's see what happens if you follow this plan. But it sheds light. Regardless, it still sheds light to certain parts of ourselves, certain behaviors, certain patterns, certain tendencies, certain beliefs that impact the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis, and then shed light and brings to awareness why we continue to find ourselves in the same situation. I am realizing that this energy, it's energy, regardless if it's tied to individuals. Well, it makes sense. It makes sense now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, because we all can embody similar energies, right? We all can embody, you know, the energy of a Leo, or the energy of a Taurus, or the energy of a Gemini, if it's within our birth chart, right? And if we're tied into it somehow, we can potentially embody that energy. So multiple people can have the same energy. That's why multiple people That's why there's people that are familiar. Right? Or people you tend to get along with better than others. So this energy that was triggering me a few days ago, and it could also be associated with the new moon that's occurring today. But at the market, right, the peridot, there was a mother of pearl that came up for me when I went with my mom. I've never seen it in the actual pearl form. It's really beautiful. The vintage watch, it's just the environment. It's of an energy. And I was wondering, I'm like, why haven't I seen the waves in a while? Like, why haven't I seen the waves? I was bugging myself, and I knew it too. I knew it. I was just like, and that's why I reached out to Miss Christina to do the Akashic readings. You know, I'm working on setting that up and finalizing it. The Romanian intuitive and ask, you know, that I'm like, I feel a little lost. Like I'm not seeing the waves, but I'm seeing the signs that I'm on the right track. I'm seeing the signs that I'm on the right track, but I'm not seeing the waves when I meditate. But I feel like I'm where I need to be. But still feeling like I just have puzzle pieces. And then this energy that keeps being brought up. It's like, what else am I needing to learn? Because that's what I realized after hearing MJ's message today, and the one that triggered me a few days ago. It was just this realization of you know, aterrada, I'm stubborn, I don't want to let it go. There's a part of me that didn't want to let it go. Didn't want to let it go. Yeah. I think there's fear around what that would mean. And there's still underlying fears about my own power. Still feeling I need to. I mean, the confusion comes because I feel like I'm supposed to. There's partnership, right? There's partnership, working together. But then it's the energy of how you present yourself in that collab, in that union of a partnership, work partnership, you know, love part, whatever it may be, right? Like I'm working with Miss Hannah and we're trying to work together in a partnership and realizing, right, the control dynamic in that and trying to make sure we're balancing responsibilities and right, and the reality of our situation and you know, not to overgive, right, to others, but to also give to ourselves. And there is this belief in me that I can't do it alone still. I'm in this situation, right? So it's confusing to try to embrace your own power in a partnership, in a collaboration, without getting sucked into I need you in order to be able to do this. You know, like it's this fine balance of I mean, it's going to take practice. It's work to try to make sure it stays balanced. Relationships take work. But it doesn't feel like work when it's something you want to do, right? When it's something you want to contribute to. The moment it starts feeling unbalanced, it's because, or the moment it starts feeling like work, it's because it's unbalanced. So I offered Hannah for me to do her birth chart reading, right? And at the same time, I'm still learning about myself. So as new information is coming out, I'm like cross-referencing it with me, and I'm asking people that I'm interacting with. It's not just Miss Hannah, like, you know, this new person that is fire sign that I'm you know, getting to know, and just other people in my life, like my siblings, and I'm wanting to do their birth chart reading, not just for them, but for me to also do this collaboration. I guess there's a way where you can cross the information. I don't know what it's called, but I'll put the link to the one that you can do it. Where it takes your birth chart information and then it like meshes it to see what the partnership might look like. So I did that out of curiosity with the different people that I'm working with. And it's shedding light to how certain parts I'm just like, whoa, that's so true. Like, that's so true, right? And then there's certain parts that may or may not apply because it just depends on if it's a romantic relationship or a work partnership and stuff like that. But it's resonating for sure with certain people. Like, yeah, I'm noticing this already, right? And being aware of these other things. And then also realizing I'm like, well, I don't feel like that's an issue right now. Could it potentially be an issue? Yes, but we've already kind of addressed it and shed light to it. So then does it continue to be an issue if we are both aware of that, right? And so will the outcome that it predicts still apply if we are both now aware? So that came to mind in terms of the validity, right, of that. And again, everything with a grain of salt, right? and possibly that's why it's for entertainment purposes only, because of that shift that anything could happen, right? The curveball of life is free will. And so then that definitely impacts the outcome. And just like the love language, right? If your love language is the things that you were missing out as a child, then what happens when you resolve all your inner child stuff? Then that no longer applies. So then does that mean you are left without a love language, or do they all apply to you? Are you no longer completely needing it? So it's kind of like the same situation here. Like if the chart is analyzing, right, your similarities or possible challenges based on your planet positions, but if you're resolving a lot of your Chiron and your inner child stuff, right? Are these just things to continue to be mindful of so that it doesn't become toxic or become challenging or too difficult? So anyways, that was like my head just so I did that, not just with Miss Hannah, but with other people in my life. Brought up mirror the reality of the situation. And there was this moment of like, and I was trying to avoid it. I had known that existed, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it for fear of what I was going to get. The reality of the situation, right? But I sat with it. I was like, okay, it's the situation. That's the situation. I continue to learn from this energy that keeps presenting itself in different people in my life. As energy continues to present itself. In different people. Still learning from this energy. And I wonder if maybe that's why the reminders are there. Because I wasn't done learning lessons around it. I wonder. So that made sense this morning. And it's funny because the videos that I posted, the videos that I posted before, right? I'm talking about how the morning message doesn't apply to me, that it's more on the videos that are coming out. And lately, and it could possibly be because I haven't been recording as much. Lately, they've been a little more on point to my current situation. And I think it's because of the blockage. I was blocking myself with these beliefs, these fantasies, right? As subtle as they are, because they are very subtle. They're very subtle, right? For me, anyways. It's subtle. And the triggers were subtle. They were subtle on Sunday. So does that mean that it's not as strong? Like the lessons I'm learning are not going to affect me as hard? I don't know what that means. I'm aware of it now. The reality of it. And I wonder if maybe that's why I had that dream, right? This dream of, a continued dream of feeling overpowered with this crazy horror scene type of, I mean, I don't watch horror movies, but that's the feeling that I got. I'm like, why are people trying to take advantage of me? I don't know. But it's subtle, and again, I think that's where I need to continue to learn to set limits and boundaries, right? Set limits and boundaries for myself. And she talked about like this issue of power in relationships. And she was right on. She was so right on, because that was an issue in my past relationships. Was there was this need or desire for the other person to take control, to be in power. That was a big issue in my past relationships, was this desire to be taken care of, to have the other person make all the calls, right? So that I could take a break from having to do that. And not realizing that I'm giving away my power by doing that, right? There's fear in fully embracing and having to make all the shots, all the calls. But when you're living your life, that's what you have to do, right? Make the shots, make the calls for your own life. And the things that you believe will determine the types of calls and the types of decisions that you make. So I was, again, holding myself back, and the energy was just trying to shed light to that, and hence why I started seeing the waves again. I see them, I guess, now when I'm learning the lessons, when I'm a step closer, right, to figuring things out. So that's the cue. I mean, now in retrospect, right, I'm remembering when I finally said goodbye, right? When I finally said, no, I'm not waiting. And then all of a sudden I was getting the waves on a daily basis, right? So when I learned the lesson, it's like an upgrade. It's like you get you get that next boost, that next level up. Like if you're playing a video game, right? You get the next little power play to make it to the next level. Yeah. whatever this next level is, right? Apparently now the waves, it's crystal veil, like literally, like, yeah. And it's at night when I'm sleeping. Which is interesting because now I need to go back. Christina Lopes, so many Christinas in my life, wow, that I reference in terms of guidance. Christina Lopes came out with a video about your spirit guides. And I thought it was really, I listened to it once, but now I want to go back and listen to it again. And I'll put her link in this video thingy. But it was about how to tell like what spirit guides, let them help you. 9 types of powerful spirit guides and how to call on them. So I'll include that in the link. To see if that, maybe that helps you guys out too. I'm gonna re-listen. I'm gonna listen to it again because I remember her saying that the meditative experience is different, and I remember her saying that there was one that was purple. So I was like, I need to go back to that one. And now I'm wondering if there's one that's more like dark and with the crystals, right? The veil. I mean, and that one was like, it was like coming in, like it felt like it was like wanting to come in because I felt like I was being flooded with it. Like it was just like rising and then rising and then rising. And I was like, it just felt like it was over me almost. So I wonder, we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted, but yeah. Her morning message resonated, but it helped shed light on, again, my own patterns of behavior, this energy that keeps teaching me. Okay, that's it. I need a shower. I need to finish, but I didn't finish yesterday because I need to get going. All right, have a good one. Bye. Hi. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me. So take care.